Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sterling Channel 19 with our first live game broadcast in quite some time here in the spring, and I'm glad to bring you guys this broadcast of Sterling baseball as they are taking on the first-round matchup against the Pennsauken Tech Tornadoes. Thank you all for tuning in here to Sterling Channel 19. The boys have quite the hill to climb today as they're going against one of the better pitchers in Group 2 in Franklin Fernandez, and it's going to be a battle for this Sterling Bat squad. I'm Daniel Leakin, joined by my good buddy, Rowan RTN Star, also one of the play-by-play and color announcers for the Wilmington Blue Rocks, my good friend, a Sterling graduate, Sterling baseball alumni, Jay Clark.
Dan, it's certainly nice to see Sterling hosting a playoff game. Last year went out on the road, but this time they're the number 4 seed in Group 2, and the winner of this matchup between Sterling and Pennsauken Tech will take on the winner of number 5 seed West Stepford against number 12 seed Medford Tech, and that'll be on Thursday. But when you mention Franklin Fernandez, he's no joke out on the mound. 52 2/3 innings pitched, the sub-1 ERA, 126 strikeouts this year alone, and just 4 earned runs, and he's on the bump today for the Tornadoes. And then on the other side of things, Gavin McCormick, the starting pitcher for the Knights, 30 innings pitched, a 3.27 ERA, and 44 strikeouts for the lefty out on the mound. So some quality pitchers out there today for both of these squads.
Yeah, so this year, Sterling, Jake, as you mentioned, they were on the road last year, but Sterling this year turned it around, kind of had a big year in the program. They went 18-6 overall, 8-0 in the division, and then under them was Haddon Township, Gateway, Gloucester, and Paulsboro in that order. And it was a large part of the big production from the pitching, where as a team they have a 4.54 ERA, and also from the bats, more specifically the senior first baseman Evan Miller this year, who's having an outstanding season, batting .471.
Yeah, Miller has been great in this one. 23 RBIs, 33 hits for him on the year, and a .471 batting average. And these teams kind of in two different spots entering the playoffs. Sterling winning 5 of their last 6, entering the Group 2 South playoffs. On the other side of things, for Pennsauken Tech, they lost 3 of their last 5 entering the playoffs. So a Sterling team that has gotten hot at the right time, and a Pennsauken Tech team that needs to get the ball rolling in the other direction.
And quite literally, Jake, when we take a look at the team average, and when I spoke to Coach Kozaneski earlier today, he kind of mentioned that, Pennsauken is a very top-heavy team, especially in their bats. When you take a look at some of the averages, they have a .379 batter in Franklin Fernandez, .324 with Gonzalez, .342 with Matos, and then a .308 higher up in the lineup. But when you take a look at the team average, Jake, batting .226 as a whole with a .275 slugging percentage, and even with great pitching every once in a while, that is not going to get you a lot of results.
It's absolutely not. You have to have a lineup from top to bottom that's very solid. And when you look at the Sterling lineup, they've got a deep lineup and guys that can come off the bench and do great things. But for Pennsauken Tech, just looking at the numbers alone, it looks like if you can get through the first 4 or 5 hitters in the lineup, the bottom half of the order isn't going to give much of a fight. And for the Tornadoes today, they're going to need that to change in order to have success on the road.
So yeah, big road matchup here. Round 1 of the playoffs. Sterling, the 4 seed, with a big opportunity today against the Tornadoes and a great pitcher. So when we take a look, when we did some of the research today, Jake, and you did obviously some of your own, again, you mentioned the 4 earned runs, 126 strikeouts, 300 total in his high school career. His fastball sits around mid-80s to low 90s. He's just a very, very successful pitcher on the bump, but a Sterling lineup that's going to be rather intimidating for him. What kind of result are you going to want to see from some of the at-bats from the Sterling hitters?
Well, you have to take it one at-bat at a time, and it sounds cliche, but with going up against a pitcher like this, just getting a runner on and knowing Coach Kozaneski, Coach K, the way he likes to play, one runner is all it's going to take for the Sterling team. Whether they're going to bunt, they're going to try and move runners over, play some small ball here today against a very talented arm out on the mound in Fernandez. We're going to have to see how that plays out, but try not to do too much up at the plate. Just try and find a way on, and good things happen when you put the ball in play. This guy, for Franklin Fernandez, he has 7 starts in which he's recorded 12-plus strikeouts in a game. If you eliminate the strikeout and put some balls in play and make the defense work behind him, you're going to have success here today for the Knights.
So we're just about to get ready here at Sterling High School. The boys in the pinstripes are going to run out. It's about 75 degrees outside, a little humidity in the air, nothing too bad. Not a lot of implication. The wind kind of blowing from right to left, or at least on the field, it's blowing from Quentin Rosano out and left to Gogo out and right. And so that should have a good implication on the players. We should see some stuff going towards our left. As we take a look at the Pennsauken Tech lineup for today, batting first is going to be number 5, Caleb Roman. Batting second is going to be number 3, Carlos Cruz. And then batting third, number 26, Jean-Paul Matos. Batting fourth, it's going to be number 19, Franklin Fernandez, who, again, is on the bump for Pennsauken Tech. Number 5 in the order, number 22, Jaden Gonzalez. Number 6, batting number 6, Ethan Rodriguez. Number 7, batting 7th, number 13, Nathan Moore. Batting 8th, number 15, Dominic Orengo. And then batting 9th, number 9, Eric Vega. And then once again, as Jake mentioned earlier, on the bump for the Sterling Silver Knights today, 30 innings pitch, a 3.27 ERA with 44 Ks, Gavin McCormick, the lefty. So we should be in for a good matchup. And, talking to Mr. K, Jake, today, Gavin, has a pretty not awkward release, but he has a special release from that left side. And talking with a couple other people, Coach Kozaneski figured that it would be best against this Pennsauken team to throw out the lefty. What do you think the strategy is behind that?
Well, Gavin is a guy that comes in and he throws strikes, and that's exactly what Coach K loves, is players that come in, they throw strikes, they pound the zone, and they make the defense work behind them. And from time to time, we've seen Gavin go out and record the punch-out. But a lefty on the mound who's not going to overpower you with the fastball, but has great control and a good off-speed pitch in the changeup that'll work for him in his favor.
So again, just about to get ready here in the top of the first. Once again, I'm Daniel Leakin, joined by Jay Clark on the broadcast. And round 1 baseball between your Sterling Silver Knights and Pennsauken Tech Tornadoes. One of the first times in quite a little bit that Sterling baseball is hosted here at home to start off the playoffs. McCormick delivers. That one just a little bit outside against Caleb Roman. And we're off. Second pitch from McCormick just a little high there on Roman. So a 2-0 count early here for the junior.
Well, and Roman's a great player, leading off for this team, hitting .317 on the year.
And that one looks like it just hit Roman. So an early runner on here for Pennsauken Tech. The Tornadoes with Roman on first, with Carlos Cruz coming up to bat here for Pennsauken Tech.
Well, the control for McCormick right now seems a little shaky. A couple balls in that at bat, and then a hit by pitch, a free pass there for Roman to begin the day for the Tornadoes.
So now it's going to be Carlos Cruz. Carlos Cruz in 61 at-bats has 16 hits, batting .262 with a .295 slug. And that pitch gets in for the first strike of the day for Gavin McCormick.
Well, Cruz comes into this one hitting .262 on the year.
And quickly down 0-2 here to McCormick.
But Cruz is a guy that you're okay with getting deep into these counts as a good eye up at the plate. 17 walks drawn this season.
McCormick steps off, challenges Roman over at first. No attempt made. So 0-2 here to Cruz. Player with a good eye. McCormick kicks and deals. This one tipped and goes foul towards the Pennsauken bench. Or I should say the Tornadoes bench.
Well, Cruz just seemed a little late on that 0-2 fastball, and McCormick challenged them.
McCormick with the pitch. That one taken inside for the first ball of the count. Roman sitting at a 1-2 count here against McCormick. McCormick set. Kicks and fires. And that one gets in there for strike number 3. Carlos Cruz goes down looking, and McCormick records his first strikeout of the day. And that brings up Jean-Paul Matos.
Well, it looks like Gavin McCormick took something off that pitch right there, went inside with the changeup, and it froze the hitter in Cruz for the first strikeout of the day for the lefty on the mound, and now 1 out here in this inning for the Sterling Knights.
Much needed out there for McCormick. Try and get back into his rhythm. That one's taken low for ball 1.
And a nice block by the freshman catcher, Tyler Lucier.
Oh, Jake, I'm blocked a little bit here by Lomax. Was that a strike or a ball?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I didn't see the umpire motion.
Was it a ball? All right. So 2-0 count here to Jean-Paul Matos. The lefty, McCormick, kicks and fires. He gets that one in there for a strike.
But Lucier, the freshman catcher today, has a tough task for sure with the Sterling backstop being about roughly 60 feet.
This one popped up. Collins trailing over along with Gogolski. Gogolski's under it, and he makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
Just a lazy fly ball off the bat of Matos to Gogolski. Takes a couple steps to his left and makes an easy catch for the second out of the inning.
This brings up the 4-hole hitter Franklin Fernandez, who's also the pitcher for today's matchup, as he takes strike one against McCormick.
When we talked about the ability that Fernandez has on the mound that we'll see in just a couple moments.
As he swings and misses at strike two. So 2 outs here for McCormick, a runner on first here against Fernandez.
But Fernandez is a special hitter at the dish too, 379. Leads the team in averages 22 hits, 9 RBIs on the year. And not often you see a pitcher at this level bat in the 4 spot.
Pitch from McCormick. That one, the off speed, gets fouled away.
That's a good job by Fernandez. Down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Just waits back on that changeup and fouls it off behind home plate to stay alive in the at-bat.
The pitch from McCormick. It's swinging and missing. There is Fernandez for strike number 3. McCormick hits the first, but then gets the next 3 out for out 1, 2, and 3. What a pitch there from Gavin McCormick to keep himself alive.
And McCormick, we saw him go with the off-speed pitch, then went inside with the fastball, and it sounded like Fernandez got a piece, but Lucier was there to make the catch on the foul tip and end the inning. So the Knights only allow the 1 on the hit by pitch, and now it's their turn to come up to the plate and try and do a little bit of damage.
So to take a look at the batting order for the Knights, batting first is going to be the pitcher / the designated hitter, number 17, Gavin McCormick, and then batting second, it's going to be the second baseman, number 5, Dean Collins. Batting third, the first baseman, number 15, Evan Miller. Batting fourth, the center fielder, number 12, Luke, the program Lomax. Batting fifth, it's going to be the right fielder, number 7, Anthony Gogolski. Batting sixth, it's going to be the left fielder, number 9, Quentin Rosano. Batting seventh, it's going to be the catcher, Tyler Lucier. Batting eighth, it's going to be the shortstop, number 1, Nate Schwartz. And then batting ninth, playing third base, number 16, Patrick Carroll. And then, as we mentioned many, many times before, the pitcher for today's matchup logging 52.2 innings this year, allowing only 4 runs, only 19 walks, 126 strikeouts, and a .53 ERA. It's going to be Franklin Fernandez, the senior.
Well, and 126 strikeouts is out of this world good. Pitchers sometimes are lucky to get 100 strikeouts in their career at the high school level, let alone 100 plus in a season. The Knights certainly have a tall task here today, but again, if they can get a couple runners on and make some noise on the base paths and make that defense work behind Fernandez, we could see them coming and taking some early runs to score across the plate.
You know what's weird about that, Jake, is he sounds just like Mr. K. He said that exact same thing to me today about the stuff about Fernandez. That's actually funny. It's almost like he coached you for a little bit.
Well, great minds think alike.
Yeah.
I think that myself and Coach K are definitely 2 peas in a pod, one could say, just about the way that we view the game. But again, a great pitcher on the mound, but might see a lot of bunts. You're going to see a lot of steals if they get runners on, a lot of hit and runs, things that are just, you're not trying to swing for the fences here. That's at least what I think Coach K would be saying, is they don't want to try and swing for the fences, but want to try and do all the little things and try and manufacture runs in simpler ways, play a bit of small ball here today.
So McCormick facing the other pitcher, Fernandez, here for the first batter for the Silver Knights. Fernandez deals. He gets that one in for strike 1.
And on the other side of things for Fernandez, have to attack this Sterling lineup. Pound the zone. He's got a fastball that sits around the high 80s, low 90s. If he can command his stuff, it's going to be tough.
That one goes up high for ball number 1.
And for McCormick, not only is the leadoff hitter, you're trying to get it on and get the rally started, but you're trying to see a lot of pitches here, help your teammates in the dugout.
That one gets taken on the inside part of the plate here for ball number 2. So 2-1 count here to Gavin McCormick. Fernandez set, kicks, and deals. That one gets taken low for ball 3. So 3-1 count here for Gavin McCormick. First batter for the day for the Silver Knights.
And a really good spot to be in for McCormick. Ahead in the count, 3-1.
The pitch from Fernandez is fouled off, so 3-2 full count here for Gavin McCormick. The pitcher for the Silver Knights.
And a good 3-1 swing there by Gavin McCormick. Looked like he was on time with that pitch, just didn't get his barrel to it.
The pitch from Fernandez. This one popped out to right field. Trailing on it is Pennsauken, but they will not get there as that one goes foul.
You got to respect the effort from Arango, the first baseman today for the Tornadoes, hustling all the way to the fence and then some, trying to make the play, but he just ran out of real estate down the right field line.
So still a 3-2 count here for Gavin McCormick. Fernandez ready on the bump. Winds up and deals. That one gets in there for strike 3. Gavin McCormick goes down looking on the breaking ball pitch. 1 out against the Silver Knights here against Fernandez with Dean Collins up to bat.
Will strike out 127 on the year there for Fernandez, and he went with the off-speed breaking ball, just dropped it right in for the zone. McCormick thought it was ball 4, was halfway to first base, and then was sent right back to the dugout on a called strike 3.
So first pitch here to Collins. The fastball taken down low for ball 1. That was a very nice breaking ball pitch there from Fernandez. Kind of got McCormick looking as Collins ropes this one, but that one just goes foul. So 1-1 count to the senior second baseman, who on the year this year is batting .217 with a .267 slug. As the pitch from Fernandez comes in and is taken down low. As they say, Collins went around. So 1-2 count here to Dean Collins. But something that really sticks out to you when you look at Dean Collins' stats is his 14 stolen bags on the year. At least I hope that's the stolen bags category. As the pitch to Collins. He swings at and misses down in the dirt. The second strikeout for Fernandez today. And now this brings up the contact hitting first baseman, Evan Miller.
Well, Fernandez showing you he can put you away with the curveball or the fastball. First strikeout looking to McCormick with the breaker, and then the second one with a fastball that just blew by Collins, and now quickly 2 away.
Miller this year having almost a similar unicorn season as Fernandez, batting .471 on the season for the first baseman. Just a revolutionary year for Miller and his game and his swing, and you could just see the development as time has gone on as there's the first strike in the count.
Well, a great hitter, and he's swinging a hot bat entering this game. Has 8 hits in his last 5 games played. Hot at the right time.
Swings and misses at that one. As that one is strike number 2. So 1-2 count here for the big first baseman. Fernandez looking to go 1-2-3 in the inning. The kick and deal. That one just outside there for Fernandez, so 2-2.
And Miller's a player, 33 hits on the year, 23 RBIs. Does it by himself and when runners are on the bases.
The pitch here from Fernandez, and Miller swings and misses at that one. May have gotten a piece at it, but it doesn't matter much anyway. 1-2-3 for Fernandez against the Sterling Knights lineup, and they all go down with strikeouts.
Well, striking out the side there was Fernandez after being a strikeout victim himself at the plate to end the top of the first. Gets the strikeout, and he strikes out the side to begin the game. So talk about setting the tone, Dan.
Yeah.
3 up, 3 down for the big right-hander out on the mound, and still a 0-0 ball game as we're through 1.
So now the next 3 up, it's going to be Jaden Gonzalez, Ethan Rodriguez, and Nathan Moore for this Pennsauken Tech team. And as I mentioned earlier, Jake, a very top-heavy Pennsauken Tech lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see what the bottom of the lineup can produce here against Gavin McCormick, who kind of made his way through the top 4 of this Tornado squad.
Yeah, well, after the hit by pitch to Roman to begin the inning, got the strikeout looking, a fly ball to right, and then another strikeout to Fernandez swinging. Have to hope to continue that momentum from the top half of the first now to the top half of the second.
So if you're Sterling, you definitely think those first 3 at-bats for them are a little intimidating, but I think they definitely have to take your thing and kind of just go with the flow, just go with the next at-bat. They can't really get caught up on the first 3 of that first inning.
Well, and it's a long game. You got 21 outs to play with, the first 3 for the Knights by the strikeout, but everybody in the dugout, the saying is that everybody gets 21 at-bats, because if you're really sitting there and you're really paying attention and you're watching the game and you watch what the pitcher has in store, you'll be able to take those at-bats along with the hitter in the box.
So first strike at the count here to Jaden Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, a freshman, having a terrific season.
That one gets in there for strike number 2.
But he's hitting .324 as a freshman, has 22 hits in his first varsity year.
The pitch to Gonzalez. Swung on and missed. Sorry, that was strike 2. So quickly behind the count here for Gonzalez. The pitch and the deal. And swing and a miss there from Jaden Gonzalez. Strikeout number 3 for Gavin McCormick as he takes down the freshman as he goes down swinging at that one.
Back-to-back Ks there for McCormick out on the hill. Went inside with that pitch. Gonzalez couldn't catch up and swung and missed at the pitch inside for the first out of the second.
That one taken inside by Ethan Rodriguez, the second baseman for today's matchup. Rodriguez swings at that offering, 1-1 the count. He swings at that offering as well. So quickly behind 1-2 in the count here to McCormick.
Now it feels like you've gotten through the hard part of the order.
McCormick gets him to swing at strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts for Gavin McCormick. 3 straight swinging strikeouts as well. Quickly down goes Ethan Rodriguez, and now up to the plate, Nathan Moore.
Well, back-to-back Ks in this inning for Gavin McCormick. And now you would think has the advantage being the left-handed pitcher against the left-handed batter at the plate in Moore.
Pitch here from McCormick goes outside for ball number 1. That pitch down low for ball 2.
But that's a good miss right there for Gavin McCormick. Just missing at the bottom of the zone. And if you're going to miss, you definitely don't want to miss with a pitch in the zone.
So quickly, a 3-0 count here for Nathan Moore. He's playing left field in tonight's matchup. And that pitch from McCormick goes outside. So a 4-pitch walk after 3 straight strikeouts for McCormick. And now that brings up Dominic Orengo, the first baseman here for the Tornadoes.
Looked like McCormick was just trying to work the hitter in Moore away, wanted to force some weak contact to the left side of the infield, but just couldn't find the strike zone in that at-bat, and now a 2-out walk for Pennsauken Tech.
That one taken for a strike by Orengo. That one a little low and inside for McCormick. So 1-1 count here to Orengo. Pitch here from McCormick. That one goes inside. They say it hit him.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like it got his helmet, and Orengo, a bit of a ball magnet, his 7th hit batter, his time being hit this year.
Wow.
That one clipped the helmet. Got to be thankful for the protective gear.
And I think that's Mr. K going out and having a chat with the ump.
I'm not sure if he wants to talk about, was he trying to lean in, but regardless, has to feel good for Orengo just trying to extend the inning. And the Tornadoes trying to strike first here today against the Knights. They got 2 on but 2 out, and McCormick just 1 pitch away from getting back in the dugout.
That one gets in there for a strike here against Eric Vega, the right fielder for today's matchup. As that one gets in there for strike number 2. So no 2 count here for Eric Vega. McCormick trying to escape the inning. The pitch and the swing and a miss there from Eric Vega. 5th strikeout of the day for Gavin McCormick. Got himself into a little bit of trouble, but kept the Tornado away. As now the Knights get their bats back here in the bottom of the 2nd.
Yeah, he definitely got into a little bit of trouble. Struck out the first 2 batters pretty much with ease, and then a walk and a hit by pitch allowed for some runners to get on, but he comes back against the 9-hole hitter and does exactly what he's supposed to do, just attacks the zone. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and the 3rd strikeout of the inning there for Gavin McCormick. And now the Knights looking for a little bit of life offensively after going down against Fernandez, all by the strikeout.
Yeah, the next 3 up is going to be Luke Lomax, Anthony Gogolski, and Quentin Rosano, a heart and soul part of the lineup for the Sterling squad between the program. Anthony Gogolski, who you could explain more on, is just an absolute bombastic fella, and Quentin Rosano, who we've talked about a lot before.
Well, Luke Lomax doesn't get the nickname the program by accident. The junior hitting .352 on the year, has 3 home runs, 30 RBIs, exactly what you're looking for, a big power bat right in the middle of the order. And then Anthony Gogolski, the Rutgers Camden commit next year, going to play for the Scarlet Raptors, hitting .352 on the year, 18 RBIs and 71 at-bats. And then Quentin Rosano making a huge jump from last year to this year, hitting .338 with 4 doubles and 14 RBIs. This is the heart of the order that you're looking to get the ball rolling here for the Sterling Knights.
Really, the Scarlet Raptors? I never knew that was Rutgers Camden mascot, man. That is a cool name.
Scarlet Raptors, Rutgers Newark, the Scarlet Raiders, and then Rutgers New Brunswick, the Scarlet Knights.
I got to say, out of all 3, the 1D1 school in that one is probably the worst mascot. No hate towards the Scarlet Knights, but come on, the Scarlet Raptors? That's so sick. Anyway, quick 1-0 count here to Luke Lomax. Fernandez with the offering. Quick fastball down the middle. It's tipped foul by Lomax. So 1-1 count.
It's nice. They're giving us a flyover.
Yeah. I think that's a Delta Airlines plane up there. That fastball on the inside. So quick 2-1 count here to the center fielder. The program, Luke Lomax.
And I like what the lineup is doing. Even though they've struck out about every time so far through the order, they're seeing a lot of pitches and they're making Fernandez work.
That one swung on and missed there by Luke Lomax. Nice pitch there from Fernandez.
And if you can work the pitch count up against an arm like this, you're going to have to go into the bullpen, and he's clearly the best that they have.
The pitch, that one hit into right field, and that's going to get down for the program. Lomax on base, the first hit of the day for the Knights with a single.
When it's somebody that knows Luke personally, a pitcher like this is exactly somebody he wants to go up against. Many times he's told me and other teammates that he can't hit slow pitchers, but Fernandez, that is not the case for him, and he takes a fastball that just caught a little bit too much of the plate, and he pulls it into right center field for the first hit of the day for either team, and now the Knights get their first base runner in the bottom of the second.
And that's exactly what they want to see here, as well as Jake mentioned. Tad Kozaneski, a big fan of the small balls. Here comes the steal. That one gets behind the incoming shortstop. That looks like it was Caleb Roman coming for the shortstop. Just missed the throw from the catcher, Matos. And now Luke Lomax on second base.
And Matos was frustrated with the miscommunication between his middle infielders, and the ball skipped away into center field. But that's something you're going to see the Knights do consistently, as now there's going to be a bit of a mound visit between Fernandez and Matos. But again, this is what Sterling likes to do. This is what Coach Kozaneski likes to do, and he's not shying away from his style of baseball. You get a runner on, you're going to make that defense work to try and get you out on the base paths, and now nobody out with a runner in scoring position, and Lomax picks up another stolen base.
So the pitch here for Fernandez, that one taken for a strike. And it gets behind the catcher, so Luke Lomax is going to go and take third. So now no outs, a runner in dangerous scoring position here for Gogolski.
And now a runner on third with nobody out, and good heads-up awareness by Luke Lomax. Sees the ball skip away from Matos behind the plate. He takes advantage of it and scoots up to third base, now just 90 feet away from being the first run of this game.
That one swung on and missed there by Gogolski for the fourth strikeout of the day for Fernandez. And that brings up Quentin Rosano, the left fielder for the Silver Knights.
Well, Fernandez certainly has a lot of heat behind that fastball.
Yeah.
Fired it in there for his fourth strikeout of the day, and now the first out of the inning in the bottom of the second.
That one taken on the outside by Rosano for a strike.
And with a player like this on the mound in Fernandez, and a team that likes to bunt the ball.
And there it is. Rosano squares one up. Lomax coming home. The flip to home. And he's safe. Lomax is safe. A run scrapes across the board for the Silver Knights. Looks like he popped out of the glove of Matos. What a heads-up play by Lomax, and the score 1-0. The Silver Knights lead.
Well, it looked like if Matos caught it, the flip certainly would have been in time, but he muffed it behind the plate. It pops out of the catcher's mitt, and everybody's safe there for the Knights. As Rosano, there's no play at first, so he'll be awarded with a single there. And then Lomax slides in and is safe at the plate, and now the Knights lead 1-0 here over Pennsauken Tech.
What a play. And Jake, that is the dictionary definition right there of Knights baseball.
It absolutely is a team that lives and breathes small ball with Tad Kozaneski at the helm.
So the first pitch to the freshman catcher, Tyler Lucier, is taken outside for a ball. Only been one out recorded in this inning. Rosano sits on first base. Rosano takes off. A nice throw from Matos. Rosano's going to get there after the miss pick by Roman once again. And tally a stolen base for the left fielder, Quentin Rosano.
Now his seventh stolen base of the year. And with that bunt single, Rosano now has 6 hits in his last 4 games played and put himself right into scoring position as the Knights look to extend their lead.
Fernandez set on the mound. The kick and deal to the freshman, and that one goes outside for a ball.
Looked like a slider out of the hand of Fernandez trying to get Tyler Lucier to chase. But good discipline by the freshman in this at-bat not to swing at anything out of the zone.
Pitch from Fernandez blows by Tyler Lucier for a strike. So Lucier down, or not down in this count, but has 2 strikes to him. Fernandez set on the bump. Fernandez kicks and deals. And strike 3 called there against Tyler Lucier, who goes down looking. 5 Ks for Fernandez. And that brings up the shortstop, junior, Nate Schwartz.
We've seen a lot of punch-outs from both pitchers in this one. The second strikeout looking of the day for Fernandez, 5th overall. And a nice fastball around the knees to Lucier to send him packing back to the dugout.
So now it's the shortstop, Nate Schwartz. The junior having a little bit of a struggle season at the plate this year, has yet to kind of pick up a groove as he takes strike 1 here against Fernandez.
Well, what a better time than right now, and I can't say enough good things about Nate Schwartz. Just the player that goes wherever coach needs him. Normally a catcher, but he's playing shortstop with Camardo being out for the year.
That one taken up high for a ball by Schwartz.
If you need him to pitch, he can go and pitch. You need him to play the infield, he can play the outfield. Can do great work behind the plate. Just a true utility player, and he does exactly what he's asked without complaining. Just a tremendous all-around player is Nate Schwartz.
Schwartz swings and misses on that offering from Fernandez, so gets himself down 1-2 in the count here against Fernandez, who has 2 outs. Needs one more pitch to send Schwartz packing. Rosano sits on second. Fernandez set and the pitch. Fouled away by Schwartz to keep himself alive in the at-bat.
Looked like an off-speed pitch around the knees. Schwartz just doing a nice job. Found it back to stay alive. Don't want to leave Rosano over at second. He's in scoring position. The Knights trying to really extend and pull away early in this game.
Fernandez set at the mound. He winds and deals. This one chopped at and fouled away over the third base line.
Well, they sent Rosano to third, and that's something that's a bit of an interesting decision. You already have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Don't want the final out to be made on the base paths and take the bat out of the hands of Schwartz at the plate. But regardless, Coach K feels confident enough in the speedy left fielder in Rosano.
Rosano stays this time. Schwartz is going to foul that one away, so Schwartz keeping himself alive here in this at-bat with 2 strikes.
He's doing a nice job of battling against Fernandez, seeing a lot of pitches, working the pitch count up, staying alive in the at-bat, and just trying to find his pitch that he can take for a ride in this one.
So big pitch here from Fernandez. Has 2 strikes here against the shortstop. Rosano again sits on second. Pitch from Fernandez. So Rosano takes off. This one lined into left field. And it's going to drop down. Rosano's going to score. Schwartz on with a single. And that's the second run for the Silver Knights. An RBI single for the shortstop. 2-0 the score. The Knights lead.
Well, that one just a bloop single into no man's land right there. Roman can't get it. Cruz and Moore crashing into shallow left center field, but nobody's there to make the play. And so Nate Schwartz gets an RBI single. And with Rosano moving on that pitch, already looked like he was going to try and steal third. With the ball being put in play, rounds third easily and comes across to score.
So a 1-0 count here to the third baseman, Patrick Carroll, who's the 9-hitter. So PC looking to put the ball in play here for Nate Schwartz, who sits at first. Schwartz takes the lead. He's going to take off here for second as that one gets behind Matos. Schwartz is going to pump the brakes on at second, was thinking about going to 3. Schwartz is going to challenge it, gets himself caught in a little bit of a rundown, and goes safely back to second.
And that's not something all that uncommon to see with a big backstop and teams that don't normally play here. Pennsauken Tech being the prime example of a team that doesn't normally play at Sterling. The catchers are not used to having to go hustle after that ball, and Schwartz trying to make Matos pay and was lucky to get back to second safely after trying for 3.
That one gets taken on the outside part of the plate by PC. So I'm pretty sure we sit at a 3-0 count here to the third baseman. The pitch, and that one taken down low. So Patrick Carroll walks in 4 pitches, and that brings up the pitcher / designated hitter, number 17, Gavin McCormick, who struck out looking in his first at-bat.
Well, pretty easy 4-pitch walk there for Pat Carroll, and now looks like the whole infield and one of the coaches for Pennsauken Tech, looks like the head coach and Colin Cardona will come out and take a mound visit. And for Cardona, starting to try and build this program back up a little bit. He took over as the head coach in 2021, and last year the team won 10 games, which was the best under his helm, a career 37-55 record. And he brought the team back to the playoffs for the first time since 2023, where they lost to Cedar Creek in the first round. But this Pennsauken Tech team almost having an opposite season than Sterling. Sterling going undefeated and winning their division. Pennsauken Tech losing every game that they played in the BCSL Freedom.
They go against a pretty tough division. A lot of good teams. I think Clearview being one of them, if I remember correctly, is that one gets taken for a strike by McCormick.
They might have played Clearview, but I don't know that Clearview is a... I think Clearview's a tri-county team.
Yeah, I could be wrong about that. I didn't take a look at their division. Is that one's taken down low for a 1-1 count? So 1-1 count here to McCormick. Fernandez set at the mound. Takes a look back at Schwartz. He steps off. Small ball baseball lurking into the heads now of the Tornadoes. So here's the pitch from Fernandez. This one lined over to third base. That one gets into the outfield. Schwartz is going to round third. He's heading home. The throw in from left, and that one's going to get there in time. McCormick with an RBI double as he gets that one into left field. And he extends the lead to 3 now for the Silver Knights.
Well, Schwartz comes across to score, and then Carroll goes first to third, pumps the brakes as the throw was headed for the plate. And McCormick, what looked like was going to be a single, then legs it out to get to second after the throw goes to the plate. So a nice job of heads-up base running for Gavin McCormick. And a couple of 2-out hits now extend the lead 4-0 in the bottom of the second for the Knights.
Wait a minute, 4-0?
Oh, 3. I got a little ahead of myself.
It's okay, it's okay. You had me confused there for a second. So McCormick goes back to the bench. He's the pitcher. So Romano is the pinch runner for the Silver Knights. Just a little note from all the way down in Middle Township. The softball team is up 3-1 in the middle of the third. Korean Justice knocking in an RBI for the girls as they're the 10 seed going against the 7 seed in Middle Township. This one popped up. Shallow center. Going back on it was Roman, and he gets the out for the Silver Knights. Collins pops up to the shortstop, but nothing short of a successful bottom of the second for the Silver Knights. 3-0 the score. They get 3 runs on Fernandez. And Jake, talk about such a big inning for the Knights.
Well, they played to their strong suit, which is definitely small ball, and then a couple of timely hits from Schwartz and McCormick allow for a couple more runs to come in. And 3-0, but they strand a couple runners on base. And now just looking to shut things down is Gavin McCormick out on the bump for the Sterling Knights.
So a big inning for McCormick as he's going to go back to the top of the lineup, going against Roman, Cruz, and Matos. Roman got hit by a pitch. Cruz struck out looking, and Matos popped up to Gogolski out in right field. So McCormick out in the bump, a big inning here for the Silver Knights. Again, thank you all for tuning in. A live broadcast. Glad to be back on the live streams for you guys. Had a little bit of a disconnect. One of our cords wasn't working. We switched over to an HDMI, and hopefully it's coming in loud and clear to you guys at home. The program giving us a good little fist bump out in center. Quentin Rosano talking his stuff as normal. So now Caleb Roman back up at the plate. Got hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. Pitch here from McCormick. That one taken for a ball on the outside.
So I took a little of a research break there.
Hey, it's all good. I was shouting out the live stream for the first time in a couple of months.
But teams that are in the BCSL Freedom are Don Academy, Palmyra, Riverside, Pemberton, and then Pennsauken Tech all the way down at the bottom.
That is my mistake. I meant to say Riverside when I said that. I don't know why I say what I said, Clearview or whatever.
Clearview, I took a look, was in the Tri-County Royal.
And that one gets on the inside for a strike 3. 6 Ks for Gavin McCormick. Gets Caleb Roman looking on the inside pitch. And now he goes against Carlos Cruz, the center fielder.
Well, nice job by McCormick striking out the leadoff hitter in Roman, who's not an easy hitter to put away. Looks like Miller scooped that one up over at first, and quickly now 2 are down.
2 down here for the Silver Knights.
But now Matos, the catcher, coming up. And again, the top part of this lineup is the part that you have to worry about. The first 4 or 5 hitters or so can do a lot of damage for Pennsauken Tech.
That one gets in there for a strike. 0-1 the count here to Matos. This one lined out into left field. Rosano gets to it. And they say he did not get the catch there against Matos. Rosano a little slow to get up out and left. I think maybe a little frustrated with himself. And I think it did take a little bit of a bounce. Rosano was very close. Scooped it up, though, so good job not letting it get behind him.
Well, nice job by Rosano. You have to respect the effort. Comes in on a hard liner, tries to make a play, but just out of the reach. And the umpire said that he trapped it, which I believe was the right call because it looked like it popped out of the glove and then dropped onto the ground. They said he trapped it with the glove and didn't make the catch.
But that's Quentin Rosano for you there, Jake, and I think you can talk best experience out of anyone, and that's just the hustle plays that he always makes, no matter where he is on the field.
Well, he's definitely an athlete. Absolutely.
So that one goes a little bit too inside there, so 2-1 the count here to Fernandez.
But Rosano, an athlete, a soccer player, played on the basketball team this year as well.
So now 3-1 count here to the pitcher. And Rosano's a goofball too, so that he's a personality there.
Definitely when times get tough, he's always bringing up the mood.
Yeah. This one popped up by Fernandez. Shallowing into foul territory is Miller. Miller's going to get over there, and it tips off the glove. Pretty hard ball to track in the gloomy sky. Miller had it, and it just popped out of his glove there. So a 3-2 count here to Fernandez.
Would have been a SportsCenter top 10 highlight kind of play there from Evan Miller if he's able to make the catch. Ranging back, would have had to make a basket catch on that one, but he just can't close it and keep it in the glove. And now Fernandez with a little bit of life in this at-bat with a full count.
So the pitch from McCormick. And that one goes in the outside part of the plate. So Fernandez gets on with a walk. So a little bit of traffic on the base paths here for the freshman, Jaden Gonzalez, up to the plate. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat.
And a walk there to Fernandez extends the inning. And now Gonzalez, again, a good hitter, has 22 hits on the year.
So that one's taken for strike 1.
But Gonzalez led off the second with a strikeout. For his case, hoping to try and make something happen.
This one lined over towards Patrick Carroll at third, and he makes the play. Lets the hair flow while he's at it. And the runners are stranded at first and second. And Gavin McCormick gets out of the inning harmless. 3-0 the score. The Knights back the Knights bats are back at the bottom half of the lineup, and we got Evan Miller, Luke Lomax, and Anthony Gogolski up to bat for the bottom of the third.
Well, after giving up 3 runs in the bottom half of the second, now the heart of the order, 3, 4, 5 due up for the Sterling Knights. It doesn't get any easier for Fernandez out on the mound, to say the least. And they're going to expect him to go deep into this game. A player that has been their workhorse all season long, entered today with 126 strikeouts and over 50 innings pitched. Somebody that's a true talent. And again, the Knights, all it took was one swing of the bat by Luke Lomax, and then a bunt by Rosano, and then he came across to score. Schwartz picked up a hit, and he came across to score. So good things happen when you put the ball in play, and the Knights have certainly done and exemplified that in the bottom of the second, and they're going to look to try and extend their lead now in the bottom of the third.
And Jake, we sat here when we were talking about this game even before we got on the broadcast. And Mr. K told us all he needs is one run coming across the plate. Now you have 3. You have a little bit of breathing room. And how good must that feel for that Sterling bench, knowing that this extremely talented pitcher in Fernandez, whose fastball is as fast as this and that, to not only scrape 1 run across, but to add 2 more on top of that, it gives themselves a little bit of wiggle room.
Well, it probably feels great for Coach K. It probably feels great for the guys in the dugout, but I'd have to imagine it feels the best for the man on the mound and Gavin McCormick. You get to pitch with a lead now. You get to be a little bit more aggressive. You get to attack hitters. And for somebody that, again, the Sterling team has been in the playoffs before, but McCormick getting the start in Game 1, that's a little bit of pressure for the left-hander. And now that he has the lead and the bats have gotten to work, he's able to take a bit of a deep breath and be a little bit more aggressive out on the hill for the Knights.
So now Evan Miller up to the plate here for the Knights. Again, historic season for the first baseman. Did go down swinging in his first at-bat. Still going out against Fernandez here on the bump as he takes strike 1 down the middle.
Well, it looked like Fernandez, from our vantage point out here, took something off that one, had a little bit of movement, maybe a slider, but it's tough to tell all the way out here in center field.
This one lined over into center field, trailing back goes Cruz, and that one's going to get down. Cruz can't collect it. Evan Miller's going to go to second, and Evan Miller with a leadoff double for the Silver Knights. Nice pop of the bat there for the first baseman. Added a little bit of power onto it as well.
Well, Miller with a swing and a drive there. Now his 7th double of the year. Sends that one not to the pull side, to the right center gap, and Cruz does his best to try and make the catch, but he was just a step short, lunged at it to try and make the catch, but he couldn't get any leather on it. And now Miller with a leadoff double, trying to extend the lead for the Knights. He puts himself in a good spot.
So Lomax, the program, takes that one on the inside for a ball. Miller already in scoring position for the Sterling squad, getting the inning off right for the boys in the pinstripes. 1-0 here to Lomax. As this one's lined into center field. That one's going to get down in front of Cruz. Miller's going to get waved home. The throw from Cruz is going to get cut off, and Sterling getting another RBI. An RBI single for the program, Luke Lomax. Miller comes around to score, and Sterling opening up the floodgates here. It is 4-0.
And again, that's a swing there from Lomax that you have to be thrilled with. Doesn't try and swing for the fences, doesn't try to do too much, just a line drive that has a little jump off the bat, and then Cruz, being smart, throws the cut so Lomax doesn't go to second.
Man, these at-bats that this Sterling team is putting together are very impressive here from the boys, and I think Mr. K has to be very pleased with what he's seeing over in the third base line. Swing and a miss there from Gogolski. Taking off is Lomax. Lomax is going to get there safely, as it looked like Roman just missed the tag. That's his 2nd stolen base of the day, if I'm correct.
And I didn't get to take a good look at Lomax, but by everything that just unraveled, looked like a hit and run there, because Lomax was a little late to getting this second. Gogolski swung in a pitch that was out of the zone to try and protect the runner, but now another runner in scoring position.
Gogolski fouls this one away towards the parents on the side. So Gogolski down 2 strikes here to Fernandez.
And I really like what Sterling is doing. All the hits this inning have gone the opposite way, and they've gone in the opposite gap. Miller goes right center, Lomax goes left center, and they're just trying to, with a pitcher with good velocity, try and hit the opposite way on a guy with good velo.
That one taken up high for a ball. Smart at-bats here being put together by the Silver Knights at the bottom of the third. Again, no outs in this inning here for Fernandez. Trying to get back into a groove here against Gogolski. 2 strikes here against Anthony. The windup in the pitch. As that one gets in there for strike 3. Gogolski goes down looking on the breaking ball on the inside part of the plate. And that brings up Quentin Rosano, who has a single and an RBI in this game so far.
Well, there's not much you can do there if you're Anthony Gogolski. A really nice breaking pitch from Fernandez that breaks towards Gogolski, and it looked like it clipped the top of the zone for Fernandez's first out of the inning.
Rosano got on with a bunt in his first at-bat, which also scored Luke Lomax after Matos dropped it at home plate. And he fouls the first offering away, so an 0-1 count here for Rosano.
And again, this Sterling team is just so aggressive on the base paths, hit and runs. You saw a suicide squeeze earlier in this game, stolen bases. They're trying to do whatever they have to do to put themselves in positions to score, and they've capitalized about every single time here. Only a couple left on base in this one.
So 1-1 count here to Rosano after he takes the breaking ball on the inside. Fernandez, the pitch. That one taken down low. So 2-1 here for Rosano as he's looking to score yet another runner in scoring position, as you just mentioned, for the Silver Knights.
And that happened because of a hit and run. Even though Gogolski goes down on the strikeout, him swinging to protect Lomax allows for him to easily steal second base.
Another hit and run opportunity there for the Knights. Rosano just fouls it off, so a 2-2 count here for Q.
Looked like Lomax, had the bag stolen, but Rosano fighting up at the plate.
So 2-2 count here for Rosano. The pitch from Fernandez. Swung on and missed there by the left fielder. 2 straight Ks for Fernandez, and now the freshman catcher, Tyler Lucier, coming up to the plate.
And it definitely looked like Fernandez took something off that one. Might have been a slider, might have been a changeup, was certainly something off speed, and it looked like Rosano was caught out in front, and now back-to-back strikeouts for the big right-hander on the mound in Fernandez.
This one fouled off by Lucier. Just got another update for the softball team. They're up 5-1 against Middle Township in the 4th. So big for them to try and move on to the second round. Unfortunately, I do not know who they'd go against, so I think I'm going to look up that and take my research time out between these next 2 innings.
Well, if you're going to go down to Middle Township and play spoiler, you might as well make it worth your while.
Yeah.
That's certainly a drive from here.
I think it was an hour and 10 is what I heard from some of the girls, but we went down, Karina and I went down to the shore this weekend, and we passed it on the way back up, and it was about 20 minutes.
You definitely see the signs
20
on
minutes,
the way down to the Jersey Shore.
20 minutes into our drive, so it's quite far from here all the way down to Middle Township. So they're looking to play spoiler there, and I think they're doing quite the job so far.
Never easy going on the road, especially when you have to go that far and sit in the bus for that long. So major kudos right now to the softball team.
So Lucier down 2 strikes. The pitch here from Fernandez. Lucier takes it outside. Lomax extends a little too far, though. The throw a little late. So he gets back safely.
Lomax was about 3/4 of the way to third base and then decided to revert back to second. Matos almost got him picked off as he got caught between second and third.
That one taken outside. Lomax is going to go, and he's going to steal third with ease as Matos can't hang on to that one.
And so if he doesn't go the first time, now Lomax goes on that one as Matos looked like it popped out of his glove and ran outside. Lomax with an aggressive secondary lead allows for him to take third and now just 90 feet away from scoring again.
That one taken on the outside part of the dish, so a full count here to Lucier. The freshman putting up a good at-bat here against Fernandez to try and keep this inning alive with 2 outs on the inning.
When he went down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes, and battled back to make it full. The freshman with a good at-bat here for the Knights. And as he calls time, Tyler Lucier is somebody that's just gotten better and better as the season's progressed, hitting .292 entering today. And he had a pair of hits against Gateway earlier in the month, which also goes for a season high.
And that one swung on and missed. This one in the dirt. So the throw to first, and Lucier is down on strikes. But Sterling does add another tally in the inning, though. Bottom of the third, 4-0 to score. The Knights on top here against the Pennsauken Tech Tornadoes.
And now for the Tornadoes, have to wonder if they're going to get anything going. Only a couple base runners in this one. They had 2 last inning, and they were left stranded. Only have 1 hit to this point against McCormick. You have to wonder if they can get better quality at bats against the lefty on the mound for Sterling. And on the other side of things, for Sterling, have to just hope that Gavin McCormick keeps doing what he's doing. Because so far in this one, 6 strikeouts, 2 looking. He's just been tremendous here today against the team that has a very good top half of the lineup, and now McCormick facing the bottom half of the order for the second time. If you're Coach K, you have to hope for a quick inning to try and keep his pitch count down and hope that he can go deeper into this game because, again, the winner of this game will play on Thursday, so not a matter of just trying to win today, but trying to save arms for Thursday. And the winner of this game, again, will play either West Deptford or Medford Tech, and that'll be on Thursday.
And it will be home no matter what, if I'm correct.
That is correct. If Sterling wins, it will be here. If Pennsauken Tech wins, they would have to go on the road because they're the 13 seed, and West Deptford and Medford Tech are both higher than them in the standings. West Deptford being the 5th seed, Medford Tech being the 12th seed in this year's South Jersey Group 2 playoffs.
I did my own little research break as well, and unfortunately for the girls, if they win, the girls varsity girls softball team, they will go against the 1-seeded, or potentially go against the 1-seeded Gloucester team. So that's going to be an uphill battle from here for the girls. This one hit over to Miller over at first. He's going to go back and tag. He's going to go back and tag the bag against Ethan Rodriguez for a quick out. For McCormick, 1 pitch, 1 out against Rodriguez.
And that's exactly what you're hoping for, right? A quick inning out there on the mound for Gavin McCormick, trying to stay in this game for as long as he can, keep getting quality outs, let the boys get back in the dugout, and give you a little bit more run support.
So the lefty deals a ball to Nathan Moore, who got on with a walk in his last at-bat. That one taken up high by Moore, so 2-0 the count here for McCormick.
And if you're on the other side of things for Pennsauken Tech, have to try and make Gavin McCormick work a little harder.
McCormick collects that one. Hit up the middle, right into the glove of McCormick. Quick, calm, cool, and collected. And Moore is out right there in only 3 pitches, and that brings up Dominic Orengo.
Well, that one, a tough play for McCormick out on the mound, to say the least. A hard ground ball that was hit right back where it came from by Moore, and McCormick able to get his glove on it as it was hit towards the left side of the infield, and he makes a nice throw to Miller for the second out.
That one's hacked at and missed there by Orengo. Orengo hit by pitch in his last at-bat. McCormick, the second offering. That one taken in for a strike.
And Orengo, somebody that not only for the team you're hoping gets things going, but for himself, been in a bit of a slump, hasn't recorded a hit in 7 games.
So 2 strikes here to Orengo, 1 ball. The pitch, and that one missed by Orengo. Perfect inning there from McCormick. Not a lot of pitches, but 3 quick outs, and the Sterling bats are up again. As McCormick goes 1, 2, 3 with a ground out to first, a ground out back to him, and a strikeout against Orengo. And McCormick has had himself quite the playoff debut on the mound.
Yeah, 3 up, 3 down there for Gavin McCormick. Exactly what Coach K is looking for in the dugout. A quick inning so he can keep going back out for potentially the top half of the 5th. And now for the bats for the Knights, they put up 3 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, looking for a little bit more run support to try and pull away and really demoralize the Tornadoes in this game.
And, I mean, Jake, we both know this Knights team, as we mentioned, surprise team of the year. We mentioned that a couple times on the previous broadcast. Really shocked everyone. And I think this is another one of those occasions where I myself and maybe others doubted their bat ability a little bit. You know, they struggled a little bit against Haddonfield pitchers. They had 11 strikeouts against Haddonfield going against them, obviously. A pitcher that's fastball sit around low 80s. And, you know, coming into this one, they were just hoping to scrape a run. But this team really did some adjusting and has scraped 4. And I think that is a big compliment to the boys and Coach K.
Well, and I can't help but laugh at the surprise team of the year thing, because as somebody that was in the dugout last year with the majority of these guys, it's not a surprise to any of them, and it's certainly not a surprise to me. The talent has been there. It just took them a couple years to finally get the pieces together, and this is a core that has been playing together since they were 5 years old, since they were in the sandbox, since they were at the Little League T-ball field, and now to put it on display, they've been on the varsity field, some of them 4 years, most of them 3, a team that has good chemistry, and it's no wonder why they're having success this season.
Well said. Well said. I mean, I don't have that, you know, in dugout experience that you do. The most I can tell you is this team is tight, knowing from the the soccer season and seeing how banded together they were in a couple games where no one had them winning absolutely 0 chance, especially at the very end.
Well, and I think that, again, now as an outsider looking in on the soccer season, but how that translates to baseball is I think that it helps the guys that were on that team. Guys like Dean Collins, Quentin Rosano, Jason Camardo. It gives them the taste of winning and winning something that big. And now, as they get out on the baseball diamond, a top 4 seed in South Jersey Group 2, they've got their sights set on a title this year, not on the soccer pitch, but on the baseball diamond as well.
So 3-1 here to Nate Schwartz, the shortstop. Here against Fernandez. He hacks at this one. This one goes into left field, and that one is going to go foul. Schwartz pieced that puppy up pretty well, but just trailed a little bit foul. So a full count here to the shortstop.
Looked like the 3-1 pitch was inside, exactly where Schwartz likes the ball. He turns on it, but just a little out in front as it drops foul down the left field line. A good piece of swinging there by Schwartz.
This one swung on again the opposite way. That one's going to go foul as well. AP Flicks covering his head over there, along with Mikey Tully and Max Bleem, who also have quite the road trip tomorrow as they will go up to face Robbinsville. So they're going up north. That one swung on and missed there by Nate Schwartz. Nine Ks on the day for Fernandez. And even though he's let up 4 runs, still having quite the dominant day at the mound for Pennsauken Tech.
Well, really just the one big inning right now for the Knights, and that was the bottom of the 2nd. But if you eliminate that, only 1 run given up outside of that 2nd inning by Fernandez.
That one taken down low by Patrick Carroll for ball 1.
Well, and Franklin Fernandez, again, has shown the velocity, but the big surprise to me today has been how good his off-speed stuff has been, and it complements that fastball so well. You've seen the curveball for strikeouts. You've seen the slider. You've seen the off-speed stuff work really well today.
So that pitch in the dirt, 2-1 here for Patrick Carroll, who walked in 4 pitches in his last time up. Bottom of the 4th action here, 4-0 to score. The Knights lead here against the Pennsauken Tech Tornadoes. As that one's taken for a strike on the inside to Patrick Carroll. PC the last batter in the lineup before the lineup rolls over. Back up top for Gavin McCormick. Pitch and deal here for Fernandez. This one tipped and foul over on the right field line.
And another surprising thing about Fernandez is that looking at perfect game says that he's uncommitted. So a senior throwing this hard with that many strikeouts, not playing at the next level as of right now.
As that one goes outside for a ball. PC with his second walk of the day. Stringing up a couple of good at-bats for the senior. And this brings up the top of the lineup, the pitcher/designated hitter, Gavin McCormick, who struck out looking and then got a double and an RBI with that as well.
Well, the first walk of the day for Pat Carroll, pretty easy. 4-pitch walk. This time had to work for it, got the count filled up, and then saw a pitch down and away to get on base.
That one taken down low by Gavin McCormick for ball number 1. This Sterling team playing with a lot of discipline, a lot of heart right now. And, you know, they heard a lot of this rah-rah about Fernandez and currently responding to that pretty well.
Yeah, and again, they've done it by playing their style of baseball. A lot of stolen bags, couple hit and runs, the suicide squeeze to bring in the first run of the ball game. Just excellent work today. A well-coached game by Coach Kozaneski, but it doesn't matter how well you coach the game if your players don't execute, and the players today for the Knights certainly have shown up in big spots.
Yeah. So PC on first, 1-1 count here to McCormick. The pitch, that one taken down low.
I always like to see the pitchers that hit, and you see a lot of that at this level in South Jersey Group 2, and McCormick trying to help his own cause.
This one, a hit and run, popped up in the infield. Fernandez under it. And I think that might have been 2 outs there. I don't think Patrick Carroll knew. So there's 2 outs there on a double play, caught by the pitcher and then thrown out at first was Patrick Carroll. It's not the exact 1-2-3 inning that I think Fernandez was looking for, but he got the job done with no runs to show for it. Now McCormick looking to deal in the top of the 5th.
And I think just a lack of awareness there by Pat Carroll at the situation. That one was popped up, looked like a hit and run because they sent Carroll to second, and as it was popped up, he kind of looked around for a second and then continued to break for third instead of reverting back to first, and it allowed for Fernandez to make an easy double play to get Carroll, who wasn't tagged up, out at first base. And not the most conventional 1-2-3 inning, but if you're Franklin Fernandez, I guess you'll say, hey, I'll take that, trying to keep his pitch count down, stay in the game, and give the Tornadoes a fighting chance as he has been their ace all season long.
Speaking of the Tornadoes, time for them to hit here in the top of the 5th. Eric Vega, Caleb Roman, and Carlos Cruz, 9-1-2 in the order. Trying to get some spark going here for the Tornadoes, where they really need some against the junior left-hander, Gavin McCormick, who, Jake, is having himself quite the playoff debut on the mound today. Has himself a boatload of strikeouts. I want to say that he has 7. And he's just impressed the eyes of many out here today in his first playoff game.
Well, he's certainly impressed the 4 eyes that we have here at the broadcast booth. 7 strikeouts is correct in 4 innings of work. No earned runs to this point, no runs given up, and he's done a good job. It hasn't been the cleanest. He's had a couple hit batters, he's had a couple walks, but he's been able to work out of it and pitch to contact and really attack this lineup. Even the first 5 hitters in the lineup that statistically are having great seasons, he's not backing away from them. He's pounding the zone. He's letting the defense work. And because of that, he's still pitching deep into this ballgame.
This one popped up and foul. Again, if you're just tuning in on the broadcast, the Sterling leading 4-0. I'm Daniel Leakin, joined by Rowan Television Network and Wilmington Blue Rocks announcer Jake Clark. Also, former Sterling alumni and a former Sterling baseball player as well. It's McCormick knotted up at a 1-1 count here against Vega. That one taken on the outside to make this one 2-1.
A couple pitches by McCormick outside in this at-bat.
That one taken outside as well. So 3-1 here to the 9-hole hitter, Eric Vega.
And Vega, again, the 9-hole hitter, only hitting 154 entering today, but has 9 walks, a couple of runs scored, just looking to try and get it on.
That one gets in there for a strike, so a full count here to Eric Vega. Big pitch here for McCormick, trying to get the top of the 5th, started out right. McCormick kicks and deals. That one fouled away by Vega, keeping himself alive here in this at-bat.
And Eric Vega doing a really good job, seeing a lot of pitches in this at-bat, and now fighting to stay alive, working up the pitch count of McCormick and trying to get a leadoff walk.
And he does. So Vega successful in his mission trying to get on base, and that brings up the top of the lineup for Caleb Roman to go against Gavin McCormick.
Well, a really good at-bat there by Eric Vega. Saw a couple pitches, fought a couple of them off, and then is rewarded with his 10th walk of the season, and now trying to get the party started, and now the top of the order back up, the dangerous part of this Pennsauken Tech lineup.
So Caleb Roman was hit by a pitch and then struck out looking in his second at-bat. He goes against the left-hander trying to create some offense for this Tornadoes squad, who's in desperate need of a spark, and they need it real quickly.
Yeah, they're certainly just running out of outs to play with now in the top of the 5th.
Swung on and missed by Caleb Roman. So 1-2 the count here for Gavin McCormick, trying to pick up the first out here at the top of the 5th. McCormick set, kicks, and deals. Swung on and missed there by Caleb Rowan. Slowing it down there is Gavin McCormick for his 8th K of the day. Now he goes against the center fielder, Carlos Cruz.
Well, nice job to bounce back there by Gavin McCormick. You walk the 9-hole hitter, and then you attack the leadoff man with a strikeout for the first out here in the 5th inning.
So big batter here for McCormick to go against. This one hacked at and fouled away.
I think it's Carlos Cruz up at the plate. And if so, a hitter that also tends to walk a lot, has a good disciplined eye.
That one swung on and missed there by Cruz. So down 1-2 in the count here to McCormick. McCormick set on the mound, trying to pick up his yet another out here against Cruz. That one taken down low. So quick 2-2 count here to Carlos Cruz. The windup and the deal. Swung on and missed there by Carlos Cruz. Make that 9 strikeouts today for the junior left-hander. What a show by Gavin McCormick. And now this brings up Matos, the catcher, for the Hurricanes. Oh, the Tornadoes.
Have a day, Gavin McCormick. Back-to-back strikeouts in the top of the 5th inning, 9 on the day. Just doing an exceptional job of mixing his pitches, changing eye levels, and adding and subtracting with the fastball and then the good changeup to complement.
So 0-1 here to Matos, the catcher. Pitch from McCormick. That one goes inside. So quickly down 0-2 in this count is Matos. Looking for out number 3 for McCormick.
Matos has the only hit of the day for the Tornadoes.
The pitch Do they say Matos when? Little confusion on the mound here. They don't say he does. So 1-2 count now here for McCormick. Looking to get the top 3 out for this Pennsauken Tech squad. Matos ready, McCormick set, the kick and deal. That one does not catch the plate there for McCormick, so 2-2 here for the catcher.
And a couple pitches close to the zone, doesn't get the check swing call, and then doesn't get that call for a strike.
The pitch to Matos, and he gets that one! 10 Ks on the day for Gavin McCormick. Gets the last 3 with the K. Gets Matos down looking, gets Roman swinging, and gets Cruz swinging as well. McCormick with a playoff debut for the ages. And now the Sterling Bats looking to pick up where they've left off.
Well,
wow.
3 strikeouts in a row there after the leadoff walk for Gavin McCormick. An excellent job of just settling in, finding his groove, and still looks just as sharp as he did all the way back in the first. Now 10 strikeouts. An excellent pitching performance for the junior left-hander who's gone deep into this ballgame now.
And you know, Jake, not the pitcher we came in here talking about, but I think it's going to be the pitcher that we're going to leave here talking about. And McCormick has really impressed us here in the broadcast booth, and I'm sure he's impressed Mr. K and everyone who's been watching him deal on the mound today.
He's done an exceptional job out on the mound, and now the Knights looking to try and get things going with their bats. Dean Collins, Evan Miller, and Luke Lomax, 2, 3, 4 hitters today for Sterling, due up. And they haven't scored since the third. A big second inning where 3 came across to score, but just 1 in the third after the leadoff double by Evan Miller, who's on deck and due up this inning. So should be a good opportunity here for the Knights. But again, a tough pitcher who's gone the distance in multiple starts is Franklin Fernandez, who hasn't had a bad outing of his own, has racked up the strikeouts just as much as Gavin McCormick. Numbers are comparable there for the 2 pitchers today.
Very impressive outing from both, but I think McCormick is just, again, not the player we came in talking about in this game. You know, Fernandez' flashy numbers definitely is what caught the eyes of the broadcasters sitting here. But at the end of the day, McCormick, 10 strikeouts, only 1 hit allowed, has had control problems here and there, but nothing too alarming, and really has done a great job helping this Sterling team try and close out the Tornadoes.
Well, and when he's walked hitters or hit batters, he's been able to work out of the jam. And I think that the big thing right now is that we can't sit here and say that Pennsauken Tech hasn't had chances to score, because they have. They have just 1 hit, but they had a couple of base runners throughout these innings, and the Knights have simply just capitalized. They've had more chances, and they've capitalized on a couple. Pennsauken Tech has had very few chances and not capitalized at all here today against Sterling.
So now Collins coming up. Hasn't recorded a hit today. Struck out his first time and flew out to short in his second at-bat. Holds off on the bunt there, so he gets a ball. Collins, a very speedy player for the Sterling squad, so definitely, if he can lay down a nice bunt, he's going to get there.
It has 9 stolen bases on the year. Not a shock to see him square to bunt.
Collins, a nice bunt down the line. Fernandez is going to get there. Collins trying to beat it out, but he does not. And he gets out. Nice play by Fernandez on the mound. And there's the first out for the Knights.
It's a pretty well-placed bunt there by Dean Collins and an athletic play by Franklin Fernandez out on the mound. He has to go off the mound to his left, go and get it, and then fire a quick throw over to Arengo at first, and he's able to do that. Not a bad bunt by Collins, but an even better play by Fernandez.
That one taken on the outside to Evan Miller. Evan Miller led off that third inning, as you said, with a double. Came across and did score by the Luke Lomax RBI, and then Sterling has not scored since. Miller swings at that one and misses for strike 1.
Well, the fiery fastball there from Fernandez drops right into the zone for a strike, and Miller just couldn't get his barrel to it.
That one taken down low for a ball. And I think something that Sterling has done pretty well is they've seen the off-speed pitches quite well, either laying them off or squaring them up. They've done a good job of reading what Fernandez is putting on the plate for him.
Well, and obviously against a player like this, you want to hunt the fastball because the harder it comes in, the harder and further it's going to go out. And we saw that with Miller his last time up. He hit the double. I believe the only extra base hit of the day for the Knights here today.
Miller gets that one through the gap between short and third. That one's going to creep into left field for a base hit for the first baseman. 2 for 3 today for Evan Miller, and he stays consistent at the plate.
Yeah, that's pretty routine for Miller this season. Entered hitting .471, has 2 hits here today, doubled in the third, now a single in the fifth, and it looks like Kyle Hughes will be coming in to pinch run for the first baseman.
Kerm is what they'd like to call him on the field. Kyle Hughes.
That is correct, yes.
You know, I think I get into the routine of calling these because all these are my buddies too, and I think during the broadcast during senior day, I think I accidentally called him Kerm for like a whole inning, and I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. So I was like, I apologize, Kyle, but they do like to call him Kerm on the field. And that brings up the program, Luke Lomax, who has a ribby today and 2 singles and a run. So he's having quite the day at the plate.
Well, and Kyle Hughes is a player that is one of the fastest for the Sterling Knights, 4 stolen bags on the year, and a real threat on the base paths.
So 1-0 count here to Lomax. The pitch. Lomax sends this one the opposite way. That one's going to go foul.
Looked like an inside fastball there from Fernandez to Lomax. Lomax just wasn't expecting it in that spot, seemed to be late on it, and fouled it over the third base dugout, and it rolls down the hill towards the lacrosse field.
That one taken down low for a ball. 2-1 count here to Lomax. So Lomax here against Fernandez. As that one's taken outside. Kyle Hughes is going to go and steal second with flying colors there for Kerm.
Well, an excellent delayed steal there by Hughes. Executed it perfectly. 2 big shuffles and then just took off. And Matos didn't see it coming. No throw. And probably the easiest stolen bag of the day for the Sterling Knights as Hughes puts himself into scoring position.
That one swung on and missed there by Lomax. 3-2 the count.
And again, that's another sign of small ball right there for the Sterling Knights. A delayed steal, not something that a lot of teams in this area do. About the only one I can think of is Eastern.
The pitch here to Lomax. That one taken up and inside for ball 4. So Lomax, 2 singles and a walk today, and that brings up Anthony Gogolski, who struck out twice, 1 swinging, 1 looking.
Lomax reached base safely in now all 3 of his at-bats with the 2 singles and now a walk. And Sterling with a good opportunity here, only 1 out, 2 runners on, as they look to try and pad the lead a little bit and really try and pull away and end the season of Pennsauken Tech.
The pitch here to Gogolski. That one gets in for a strike. Kyle Hughes is looking to take off there potentially. That one gets in the outside part of the plate, or does not get to the outside part of the plate. Sets a ball. So 1-1 count here to Gogolski with 1 down, 2 on, runner on first and second. Still facing Fernandez on the bump. They say he went around, so that is strike 2 here to Gogolski.
It looks like a couple breaking pitches outside to Gogolski. That when he checks his swing, the first pitch of the bat certainly was a curveball outside.
The pitch here to Gogolski. This one popped up in the infield. Under it is Roman for out number 2. So now Quentin Rosano up to bat here for the Silver Knights with 2 outs and 2 men on situation for the left fielder.
Well, good talk by Roman, because that could have been trouble. Fernandez was trying to do it all himself and make a catch coming off the mound, and Roman calls him off, and that's exactly what he should have done at short. The pitcher shouldn't be ranging back and going off the mound to try and make that play, so nice job talking and speaking up by the shortstop, Roman.
Hughes thinks about taking off. A late swing there from Rosano for strike 1.
Well, that's just how Hughes takes his secondary lead. He wants to have his momentum going towards third base, and that's something that Coach Jones, the junior varsity coach, teaches a lot of the guys as they come up through the works.
So the throw is overthrown there at second base. Lomax is going to steal second. Kermit's going to go all the way home. Kyle Hughes is going to steal home. What a play from Kerm. Kyle Hughes going all the way from second. Caught the Pennsauken Tech defense lacking. And then makes this a 5-0 lead for the Silver Knights. Kyle Hughes coming up big from the bench.
Well, how about Kerm showing off the wheels there, doing a nice job of going to third, and then the ball's still in center field, and the pitcher has his back turned, and Coach K says, why not? Sends him home. The throw wasn't in time and a little offline, and now one comes across the score in the bottom of the 5th, and it's still a runner in scoring position in Lomax.
Swung on and missed there for Rosano for the 3rd out of the inning, but Sterling does scrape across another run, courtesy to Kyle Hughes, one of the speedier guys coming off the bench. Does an amazing job of stealing home all the way from second base, and Sterling holds a 5-0 lead.
And now the good thing, high school baseball rules are that Miller gets to re-enter. You'll see it in the pros where once the starter comes out, he can't re-enter, but here in high school, every starter that was in the starting lineup today, if they're taken and subbed out, they're allowed to re-enter. So you see it wasn't a courtesy runner. But McCormick's still out there for the 6th inning. He's been tremendous. 10 strikeouts today through 5, going to try and get through 6. And you have to, you try to tell yourself as a team and as a coach, you want to take it one game at a time with the playoffs, but you have to kind of look ahead a little bit. And Gavin McCormick now gives the Knights an excellent opportunity, if they're able to hold on with their 5-0 lead here, to have almost everybody available to go against either West Stepford or Medford Tech if they're able to advance to the quarterfinal round of the South Jersey Group 2 playoffs.
And speaking of advancing to the quarterfinal round, the girls softball team, the varsity softball team, moves on to go against either Gloucester or Lower Cape May. They beat Middle Township 5-2. KK Carr let up bases loaded, but a ground ball back to KK at home, a fly out to Justice in center, and a ground ball force out at third base gives them the win. And the softball team moving on to round number 2.
Well, and going on the road and playing spoiler and picking up a win for the other coach, Kozaneski, Emily Kozaneski. Would have to imagine that's her first playoff win as a coach, considering it was her first season. So major shout out to girls softball.
And major shout out to MCAS. So no 2 count here to Franklin Fernandez. Got Jake chuckling a little bit on that one. McCormick still on the mound here. The kick and deal. Fernandez tips that one away and foul.
Well, and not a typical phrase, but I guess one that we can come up with here now is like daughter, like father, is Tad Kozaneski looking for a playoff win with the baseball team.
They left school early today. I mean, as we mentioned before, Middle Township a little bit of a hike, and they went and played spoilers. So big win for the girls, big win for the program. Not talking about Luke Lomax. That one taken outside there by Fernandez. Pitch here from McCormick. This one popped up. And that one's going to go all the way out and foul.
That one over in the parking lot right behind the school. Nobody's going to have a play on it, but Fernandez, the pitcher, fighting in this one. He's 0 for 1 today with a walk back in the third. Struck out his first time around to end the first inning. But trying to help his own cause here and get the party started.
That one taken outside for a ball, so 2-2 the count. Here to Fernandez. The pitch here from McCormick. Taken down low, so we got a full count. Here, pitcher on pitcher. Fernandez trying to get the offense started, the party started here for the Tornadoes. McCormick kicks and deals. This one popped up. Going back is Lomax. Still trailing back. Lomax has a run on it. This one's going to get over his head. Lomax scoops it up. Fernandez is going to get on to second base. A leadoff double for the pitcher, Franklin Fernandez.
And that one was crushed off the bat of Franklin Fernandez. Luke Lomax gave it a good effort to try and hawk it down, but he was a couple steps out of the reach, and now the second hit of the day, first for extra bases for the Tornadoes, and now every at-bat means a little bit more. The season's on the line. You're down by 5 runs, and you only have 6 outs to play with, but Fernandez doing all he can right there to try and get the Tornadoes back into the game.
Just about 10 feet away from calling it Santa Maria and him going all the way around the base pads, but still piece that puppy up there.
Yeah, a one-hop double to the fence, and he took it the other way against McCormick. Not easy to do. Hit it the opposite way. Looks like Patrick Carroll and Tyler Lucier will come in to try and calm down McCormick. He's thrown 2 balls in the at-bat after giving up the double, and now some action in the bullpen. Looks like Casey Kozaneski.
And it looks like Aiden Gates might be the other pitcher walking with him. I don't know if he's going to catch or pitch, but I think that's him.
And Gates is a guy that has come in a lot in relief roles, has 8 appearances on the year. Kozaneski, 7 appearances.
This one hacked at and fouled. And I want to say, Jake, I'm sure you know Kozaneski was out a little bit in the year with that ankle injury. So limited his appearances just a little bit. But it is Kozaneski in relief here. Swung on and missed there by Gonzalez. So 2 strikes here to the third baseman. No outs here in the inning for McCormick. That one swung on and missed there by Gonzalez. 11 Ks on the day for McCormick. And even with a runner in scoring position, he keeps it up. And now he goes against Ethan Rodriguez, the second baseman.
Well, a nice job there by Gavin McCormick. Settles down. He gave up the leadoff double, fell behind in the batter, and in the count, 2 balls, no strikes, but battles back and gets a strikeout.
So 0-1 count here to Rodriguez. Pitch here from McCormick. That one's taken down low for a ball. McCormick trying to keep himself alive, probably approaching that pitch count a little sooner than one may think. Swung on and missed there by Rodriguez, and now McCormick sits at a 1-2 count.
And I mean, regardless of if his time on the mound might be done or not, somebody that has given you 5 1/3 innings pitched with 11 strikeouts and no runs come across to this point in the game, just great work.
That one is ball outside there by McCormick, so 3-2 full count here to Gonzalez. Excuse me, Rodriguez. The wind and deal here from McCormick. And swung on and missed there by Rodriguez. Keep it going. Gavin McCormick have himself a day, 12 Ks on the day.
This is certainly a day to remember here for Gavin McCormick. 12 strikeouts in the first round of the playoffs. Just been tremendous today for the Knights, giving them great length in this start.
And that one taken for a strike. Wind blowing a little bit here. The luscious locks of McCormick come out to play. So 0-1 the count here to Nathan Moore. And that one hits him square on the back there by McCormick. So Moore gets on, courtesy of a hit by pitch.
Well, that one's certainly going to sting for Nathan Moore right in the back. But it creates another runner on base. And again, now just 4 outs remaining for the Tornadoes to try and do something. Every at-bat is crucial, and every at-bat has to serve a purpose. And even though it's going to sting, it helps get it on.
Swung on and missed there by Dominic Orengo.
And it also doesn't help the Tornadoes have the wind blowing in. Not going to get a lot of loft and flight on any fly ball to the outfield.
So an 0-2 count here for Orengo. Big pitch here from McCormick. McCormick trying to send this one packing. The pitch. And that one catches the inside. Gavin McCormick continues to have a day. 12, maybe even 13 Ks on the day for McCormick as he keeps this one going. Stellar performance from the junior on the bump.
Well, a baker's dozen in strikeouts for Gavin McCormick. 13 on the day for the left-hander. Just been absolutely on fire, and fuego out there on the bump for Gavin McCormick here today. Pitched deep into this one, 6 innings, 13 strikeouts. And you have to imagine that his day might be done after that one, but from a player's perspective, obviously the numbers jump out to you. It's been great. No earned runs, 13 strikeouts. But from a coaching perspective, I know Coach K is smiling ear to ear here today in the fact that he only has to use maybe 2 pitchers in this game and has about everybody left to go for the next round matchup, being that nothing strange or unusual happens in this one. Again, stranger things have happened. I've seen crazier comebacks, but right now, the way that it stands, knock on wood here, hopefully the Knights are able to pull this one out.
I bet Gavin trotted back to the dugout. Coach K was just like, good job, dude. Yep. Nice job, dude. Fist bump. The usual from Mr. K.
Coach K is a player that he doesn't do a lot of yelling and screaming, but when you do something good, he definitely lets everybody know about it, and that's one of the good things about him. He'll praise you when you do things right, and he'll give you a much-needed break when you aren't executing or doing the wrong things out on the field. But he doesn't yell at you. He doesn't try and make you feel bad about yourself. Just tries to do what's best for the team in every way possible.
When you do something right, he'll probably spell your name wrong on Instagram, but that's okay, you know? That's okay. So I'd imagine the freshman Tyler Lucier coming up to the plate here for the Silver Knights. The 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters are up. Fernandez, the pitch, and that one fouled away by the freshman catcher.
Well, Lucier with a pair of strikeouts in this one, but made the defense work the second time around. A 2-3 strikeout as Matos had to collect and fire to Orengo on a pitch in the dirt.
That one gets inside for strike number 2.
And for a freshman, this is definitely a tough task. A pitcher that is probably throwing upper 80s, maybe even touching 90 on the radar gun.
As he swings and misses at that offering for strike number 3. Lucier down in 3 pitches. And that brings up the shortstop Nate Schwartz, who has a single and a ribby on today's matchup.
Yeah, Schwartz dropped a single. As the saying goes, he hit it where they ain't his first time around.
Little southern twang there from Jake. I'm sure my mom's ripping her ears out right now. She hates when people say ain't. Not that, well, I mean, I know
I got to figure out who said that.
I know it's a saying, but you know what I mean. That one taken down low for ball number 2. She hates it because, I mean, I understand the hate for the word because what does ain't mean? Like, what 2 words does that combine? But this one chopped that and fouled away for the first strike of the count.
So it's Google AI, so take it for what you will, but the Hall of Fame outfielder Wee Willie Keeler, who played in the late 1800s and early 1900s, has the famous quote that says, "Hit 'em where they ain't."
Schwartz hit it right where he was, right to Carlos Cruz, as he barreled up that one for the second out of the inning, and that brings up PC, who is 0 for 0 with 2 walks on the day.
It doesn't help the average, but it certainly helps the on-base percentage. The couple of walks there for Patrick Carroll. And as the 9-hole hitter, he's done an excellent job of just doing his job, just finding ways to get on and extend the inning. And it looks like Franklin Fernandez's day is done. Gets through 5 2/3, but a new arm will come on the bump for Pennsauken Tech. And what an outing for the big right-hander. I mean, a couple pairs of strikeouts.
And it will be the former third baseman, Jaden Gonzalez, who's going to come on the mound here for Pennsauken Tech.
And you go from one good pitcher to another, and a pitcher who might not have as good a strikeout stuff as Fernandez, but Gonzalez, 36 strikeouts on the year in 24 1/3 innings pitched entering today. An ERA just under 7 at 6.90. But just looking for a couple quick outs as we get a couple waves here from the Pennsauken Tech outfielders.
Yeah, you know, we love a little bit of communication out here. It's lonely about 300 feet away from home plate. You don't get a lot of love out here. I mean, we got a couple dance moves from Rosano and Gogolski in the middle of the year, Lomax as well, and we get the waves, we get the 2 outs, the little bullhorns rockstar thing that they always do, but now, Jake, I got to ask while we're in a little bit of a lull here in information, how's the Blue Rocks thing going for you? I mean, to show the opportunities that Sterling can open for you.
Well, the Blue Rocks has been fantastic, and I can't thank my time here at Sterling Channel 19 enough for giving me such a head start at Rowan University. A lot of people that I know had some experience, most had none, and I had 4 years, really 2 to 3 of play-by-play experience, 4 years of on-air experience, whether it was announcing games. And then not only that, I worked with the Delaware Blue Coats on the production team. So I was their graphics operator, and I got the opportunity to work graphics here first at Sterling. And I actually only did it one time, and I put it on my resume that I was able to do it. And because I put it on my resume and that I had that experience, they gave me the opportunity, and I wasn't really sure what I was doing. But to anybody out there that is interested in trying something new, if you've done it once, say that you've done it.
Yeah. So that's a great saying, actually. Yeah, Jake, you've done incredible freshman year for you at Rowan. It's been a lot of fun listening to your streams, broadcasting some Blue Rocks baseball as this one's popped up over to the second baseman. That one's going to get down for a base hit for PC. 1 for 1 on the day. Now with 2 walks for the third baseman doing his job, and that brings up hopefully Gavin McCormick, or at least I think it is, barring no change, and it will be.
And again, just hit it where they ain't.
Yeah.
That one, a blooper down the right field line, and it drops in for a base hit. Patrick Carroll doesn't really square up that one, but a little stroke of luck coming the third baseman's way for his first hit of the day, and now batting 1,000 in this game with the 2 walks earlier, so a good 1 for 1.
Now the first pitch here to McCormick, way up high by Gonzalez. So 1-0 here to McCormick. This one ripped, going into left field. Cruz is under it, and he drops it. He drops it as McCormick goes to second. PC stays at third, and Carlos Cruz with a crucial error there. I think we're going to put both of us are going to put that down as an E8, and that's going to bring up Dean Collins.
Yeah, just a physical mistake there by Cruz. Popped out of the glove, and then a throw. When things were already bad, they got worse. As the throw looked like it would have had McCormick, but nobody at second base was able to make a catch on it. And so now 2 in scoring position with 2 away for the Knights, already with a lead on the scoreboard, and doesn't help Gonzalez out on the mound as he's trying to just prevent any more from coming across.
So the first pitch was taken by Collins. The next was swung at, so an 0-2 count early here for the second baseman. After the E8 from the center fielder, Cruz. The pitch here to Collins, and that one's going to get in there for a ball.
Nice job there by Gonzalez out on the mound, ahead in the count 0-2. No need to try and challenge around the zone.
Pitch here to Collins. That one gets the inside part of the plate, strike 3. Collins goes down looking. That sits up the top of the 7th, where Sterling's trying to put this puppy away, and it looks like Casey Kozaneski is going to come off the bench in relief for the Silver Knights.
Kozaneski, definitely one of the more premier pitchers for this Sterling team. In 7 appearances, a sub-3 ERA, a 2.78 ERA to be exact, has 22 2/3 innings pitched and 21 strikeouts on the year. And something I know that his dad will absolutely love hearing this, he limits the walks. Only 8 walks on the season for the big right-hander out on the mound. And that's something that Coach K preaches. If you can avoid the free passes, if you can pound the zone, if they hit you around, kudos to them. But when you give them the free passes, it starts to become a bit more of a problem, and the walks are something that is controllable by the pitcher. And now on the other side, for Pennsauken Tech, the final 3 outs of the game and potentially their season are remaining in this one. And with a team down on the scoreboard by 5, can't win it all with one swing. But you can certainly start a rally, and that should be the mindset for them here today. Can't win this one with a big swing of the bat, but need a couple of timely hits and a rally to try and claw back here for the Tornadoes.
Well, and speaking of timely hits, that was really the storyline for the Silver Knights today. Kind of came in when they really needed to, off of a big production day from Evan Miller, who had 2 hits today, a double and a single. Lomax, who had 2 hits and a walk. A lot of production from the bottom half of the lineup, an RBI from Schwartz. PC, who got on every at-bat, an RBI from McCormick as well. And, I mean, the Silver Knights coming into this one, we talked about how good Fernandez was, and I think they did a really good job of just scraping across the runs they needed to scrape and get on the board when they could.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, a power pitcher with a really fiery fastball in Franklin Fernandez. But the Knights did exactly what they're known for doing, a lot of small ball. You saw the first run of the game come in on a squeeze from Quentin Rosano, and then he was even safe at first, and then the snowball effect happened. A couple more came in, and then a few more later in the ball game. And the glaring stat for me now is Pennsauken Tech only 2 hits.
This one fouled away by Eric Vega. Is going to get this inning started for Pennsauken Tech.
Matos had a single in the 3rd, and then the double last inning by Fernandez. The only 2 hits of the ball game so far for the Tornadoes.
Kozaneski deals that one, and that one does not get the plate. So 1-1 count here to the 9-hole hitter Eric Vega, who struck out and walked in his first 2 appearances and swung at and missed that pitch. So 1-2 here to Vega.
And with a big lead here for Kozaneski, just has to pound the zone and let the defense work behind him.
This pitch hit right back to Kozaneski. Nonchalant flips it over to Evan Miller for the first out of the inning. 2 outs from advancing to round number 2.
Why let the defense work behind you when you can do it yourself? That pitch was hit right back where it came from, and Kozaneski scoops it up. And you mentioned it, nonchalantly just walked over to first and threw it to Miller for the first out of the inning.
Kozaneski gets that first strike in there for strike 1. And swinging and missing there is Caleb Roman, so quickly down 0-2 in this count. Kozaneski standing tall on the mound, and a timeout taken by the shortstop.
Yeah, nice job there by Roman. Caleb Roman just needs a breather to try and settle in.
The pitch here from Kozaneski in strike 3. Swinging down goes Roman. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and 1 out away from advancing here in the playoffs.
Well, now a couple quick outs in this inning, and the Tornadoes looking at their last potential out of the season remaining to play with.
Kozaneski leaves that one a little high for ball 1 here against Carlos Cruz, who struck out looking, grounded out to the first baseman, and then struck out swinging. This one popped up, and that one's going to get down for a base hit over the jumping Dean Collins. So Cruz gets on for a base hit.
Third hit of the day, the first for Cruz, as there was nothing cheap about that hit. A hard line drive the other way against Kozaneski. Collins gave it his best effort over at second, but a nice liner that just drops into the outfield for his first hit of the day, and it keeps the inning and the season alive for Pennsauken Tech.
So Kozaneski going here against Matos. That one taken up high for a ball.
And after giving up the hit, not getting the perfect inning, Kozaneski shouldn't be rattled here.
This one fouled off. So 1-1 count here to Matos, the catcher for today's matchup. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Sterling trying to put away the Tornadoes. And move on to the next round of this tournament where they could potentially go against West Deptford or Medford Tech. The pitch here from Kozaneski. And that one's taken down low for a ball. So 2-1 here to Matos. This one fouled away. Very hard hit. That one goes towards the lacrosse fields. So 2-2 here to Matos. 1 strike away from moving on in this tournament. Sterling will host if they win this one, the next round against West Deptford or Medford Tech. Kozaneski on the bump. Matos at the plate. 2 outs, 2-2 the count. Kozaneski set, kicks and deals. That one does not catch the plate, so full count here to Matos to try and keep the season alive. Kozaneski checks first, gets set, kicks and deals. And that one taken up high for ball number 4, so Matos keeps this one alive, and it brings up Franklin Fernandez.
The Tornadoes not going down yet without a fight after the 2-out single from Cruz. Matos able to draw a full count walk, and now the starting pitcher today, if the order stays the same, it should still be Fernandez.
I think it is, but I also can't. Yeah, it is. So Fernandez up to bat, going against Kozaneski. Runner on first and second. Fernandez hacks at the first one, swung on and missed.
Well, certainly a big swing right there. Fernandez was looking at trying to bring home a couple runs with that swing, was thinking extra bases.
Pitch here from Kozaneski. Fernandez lines this one. Rosano going on it, and he catches it, and Sterling is going to move on to round number 2. Kozaneski comes in with relief. Big support from a 13 strikeout day from McCormick, and your Sterling Silver Knights are going to move on to round 2 to either play West Deptford or Medford Tech here at home.
And pitching and defense is the thing that is always preached here for the Sterling team. You saw great pitching from Gavin McCormick, 13 strikeouts, and then Casey Kozaneski able to come in and close the door, gave up a couple base runners with 2 outs, but gets a fly out to Rosano in left, and that'll do it. And the Knights moving on to round 2, where they'll host either West Deptford or Medford Tech. And if it ends up being the higher-seeded West Deptford Eagles, the Knights played them in their last regular season game back on the 24th of May. They were on the road at West Deptford, but they were able to pick up the win against the Eagles 3-2. So maybe a little bit of bad blood after that game happening so recently, but we'll have to figure out the final from West Deptford Medford Tech and to see who the Knights will face on Thursday here at the Castle.
So stay here with us for just a couple of moments because we're going to cut to a post-game interview with a couple of the players. Again, the final score 5-0. Sterling doing their part to move on to round number 2. So a dominant 5-0 win for the boys, and now here is Gavin McCormick, the star of this game for the Silver Knights. 13 Ks. What was going right for you today on the mound?
I was just feeling the fastball. They couldn't hit it. I was blowing it by them. Didn't really have to throw much off speed. So, yeah, had defense behind me. I trusted just 3 strikes.
Now, in your playoff debut, you looked calm, cool, and collected there on the mound. And how does it feel to come up with such a massive win in your first playoff game?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I pitched in the Diamond Classic. Did good in that. It's just about the same atmosphere as that. So, coming up with the win, big, going on to the next game.
So either West Deptford or Medford Tech, and what are the emotions from you and the squad going into that big game in round 2?
We're going out there to win. We know we can win. We know we can beat both opponents. We already beat West Deptford last week. So, yeah, we're going for it all the way.
And Gavin, I mean, based off that game and the Diamond Classic, it seems like you're made for playoff atmosphere. And how does that feel for you to have that clutch gene and just know your stuff's working when you're out there?
Yeah, I love it. I just love pitching in front of everyone. I love pitching in front of the fans, having the reporters here, seeing. It's just a great way to get my name out there.
Gavin, congratulations. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Next is going to be the program. Luke Lomax. Luke, big game from you today. Had a couple of knocks. And, Jake mentioned it a couple times when we were talking about it. Not really hitting for power, looking for the contact, looking to put it where they ain't, as Jake said. And how does it feel for you to get a big win today and your performance being a large part of that?
That's huge. To host a playoff game and to win it, that's something we want to do all year. That's been our big goal this year, host a playoff game, win, and we're hosting on Thursday too, so that's huge. And this kid, we've been hearing all week, he's throwing 90, high 80, so we prepared for that, and I kind of changed my approach, just kind of short to the ball. Just make contact.
And Luke, I was just about to mention that. You guys mentioned it a lot, that you guys heard a lot of this chatter about Fernandez. Not to take away that he's a great pitcher, but you guys did your thing against him. And how does it feel to know that you guys can hit off a quality pitcher, especially as these games goes on and these teams get a lot better?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better arms we'll see in our playoff run. So it's cool to get him out of the way. He's a good pitcher, so the fact that we can hang with him and put 4 on him, that's huge. That's something as a team that to hang your head on, for sure.
And we've talked about it, and we've gone on about it throughout the seasons, but this season especially. And for you to now be on this team with this group of guys, what is so special about this team that is really going to propel you guys all the way to glory?
This team's been together for so long. These guys play together since 8U, 7U. I've been playing with them up here for 3 years. It's such a tight-knit team, and just, great bond between everyone. It's just like a brotherhood here.
Luke, congratulations to the program. Thank you for coming on. It's been an honor. And last but certainly not least, got the big dog, big first baseman, Evan Miller. Yeah. Evan, big game from you guys. Guys came in with a whole lot of confidence, a whole lot of swagger, and I think it definitely paid off for you guys. How does it feel to get a big win against Pennsauken Tech?
It feels good. Obviously we were the better team today. Phenomenal pitcher, hard to hit. We did our job against him. Now we just got to move on. Hopefully play West Deptford, probably West Deptford Thursday, roll through them on the round 3. Again, theoretically, let's say you guys play West Deptford. How are you guys feeling about that? You guys took them down a little, just a little bit less than a week ago, I'd say. And so how was the vibe going into that one? West Deptford, they're a great team. Even on paper, they might not be the best, but they're still really good, fundamentally really good coach. He knows baseball really well, so it's going to be a challenging game. To be a big hitter in an almost small ball kind of strategy, how do you kind of work your game around that and to kind of help the team win before yourself? I feel like my teammates in front of me and behind me help me a lot. It's not just me, in front of me, Dean, Gavin, they see a lot of pitches, help me get my timing down, recognize pitches. And then behind me, you have Luke and Gogo. They don't want to pitch them either, so they don't want to walk me and give me a free base runner. So it helps a lot for my teammates. Evan, I appreciate you coming on, buddy. Thank you. Congratulations. So that's going to do it here on Sterling Channel 19. It was a very fun game, 5-0. The boys hit off of Fernandez, which is something that we said they would have a little bit of a problem doing, which that didn't seem to be the case. Gavin McCormick, 13 strikeouts, phenomenal game. Thank you all for tuning in to this live game broadcast. One of the first times in quite some months that we finally have had it going. It feels good to be back. Thank you to Mr. Mays and Mr. K through all of their process. Thank you to RTN specialist, Wilmington Blue Rocks announcer, Delaware Blue Coats production member Jay Clark, and a former Sterling alumni for coming on here and helping me out on the broadcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. And as always, Daniel Leakin signing out. Go Knights.